Hey, lovelies. Before we get into the episode, I do want to apologize for the audio. Somewhere down the line, I actually realized that my mic was not actually connected to the laptop. So unfortunately, it meant that um the audio is just very like rusty and bad. But you can still make out what I'm saying. And it is an amazing episode, so I'm still going to bring it to you guys. And I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you very much.
Hi, girls. Welcome back to all the girls out there. I hope you guys are all doing amazing. Today, we have a special guest, someone who's very close to my heart. She's played such a big role in my life, probably more than she even knows. Um, this woman, like, she's someone who, to me, like, she knows who she is and she isn't afraid to live from that space. Um, she represents what it looks like to move through life with strong values and to figure out life without like feeling the need, without needing to have it all together. She's someone who showed me without even forcing it that you can be strong and vulnerable at the same time. And that is Miss Dennis.
Oh my
Woo!
God. Oh wow, that's quite deep. I didn't
Yeah,
realize that you kind of had all those feelings about me. So thank you so much.
no worries. No, of course I have to. Like literally my process is like I have to sit here and think, what is it that you've done for me, or what is it that I feel like you can bring? And I feel like because you've brought that to me, then you're able to bring that to the other girls, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, 100%. I just, again, I want to thank you for that. But I think we're gonna get more into that and what you've done to me like later on.
Okay.
But again, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on. So for everyone, again, this is another teacher, so I'm calling her Miss Johnny. I asked everyone to just mind your business, but it's Sharon, right? Sharon.
Yep.
Yeah, so for everyone else, Sharon, but for me it's Miss. Um, so again, obviously you're a teacher,
Hmm.
you're still teaching
Yep.
and you've been working with kids for quite a while now, right?
I've been at Little Ilford for 24, for almost 25 years.
24 years.
Yeah, I
That
mean it was my first teaching job. Um
yeah,
and it's just like so I started in 2001. And it was my very first placement.
okay.
And to be honest, I've loved it ever since. And people have
Oh,
said, why haven't you left? Because normally it's like a 7-year itch or a so many year itch, and then people leave.
yeah.
And it's like, well, I don't need to leave because every day is different and the children are different and every year is different. And you just kind of see them from year 7 to year 11. So all the changes occur
Uh-huh.
within that space. And I've been fortunate enough to kind of move through different roles within the school.
Yeah.
So I've not had to go anywhere, and I'm quite glad I haven't. It's been good.
Yeah, 100%. Because I also feel like, even like you said it, moving through roles also that gives it a different experience. I feel like if maybe you stay the same thing, it's like, oh, maybe I'm getting a bit bored. But the fact that maybe you move through different things, and like you said, experiencing different kids definitely makes sense. Because it's so funny. Earlier on, I was literally thinking, I was like, there's actually quite a lot of teachers that have been in the school for a long time. And
Mm.
I'm just like, do people not get bored? Because I was working for someone for 6 months, and I'm like, I'm tired of this place. Like, I love new beginnings, and like just that anticipation for something different. So you saying that it kind of makes sense. It gives me an insight into like why you stayed. You know?
Yeah. I mean, every day, and I say to the students, this is a place of education, and as much as I'm a teacher, I
Mm,
am even now still learning
yeah.
because every child is different, and they come with their own nuances. They come with their own expectations. They come with their own attitudes, and so it's no two individuals, no two students are the same. So
Mm-hmm.
being open to that and knowing that every student has a different aspect or a different um, personality
Oh,
means that my days are going to be different because they will all come at me with different stuff. So why do I move? Why do I go? And I've loved Little Ilford ever since. And it's not just the students, staff as well, even though a lot of them have gone. But some people leave because they want to develop and they want to move role and they want to go up rank. Whereas I had the opportunity to shift roles within the school. So therefore I had no desire to want to go anywhere else to be in a different role because it all came to me whilst I was there. So I was really fortunate in that respect.
So what role did you have initially?
I came in as what used to be a QTS, now called an ECT, PE teacher. And then you go through like a 2-year period or period where you're ECT and you've got to just, dare I say, jump through hoops in order for you to then get your fully qualified status. And then whilst I was there for a while, working under an amazing head of department who later on went on to be assistant head teacher, I was second in charge. So I was deputy head of department for quite a while, which I actually loved. I don't know why, but I just loved that role. I think it's because I didn't have full responsibility. And what was also nice was at the time, of those days, the senior staff and my head of department were always looking for opportunities for me and anybody else really in the department to develop. They always wanted people to improve and move up and move forwards. So then that was, I can't even think how many years I did that for, many, many years. And then Miss Piper, I don't know if you ever remember Miss Piper, I was a form tutor for her. And she was an amazing head of year. And it was her work as head of year that inspired me to think, you know what? I think pastoral is the way to go. I never thought about being head teacher or deputy head. I never thought that far ahead. It wasn't something that I wanted to do. I just kind of went with it. But when I saw how she worked as head of year and the impact that she had at that role, I thought, because being a teacher for me was about the opportunity to make a difference. And I think pastorally, in my view, that's where the biggest difference can be made. So I took on the role of head of year and stepped away from being deputy head of department. And I think I've had 3-year groups. So I've got 2-year groups, and now this is my 3rd. So that's 10 years as head of year.
Oh, is it? Oh, so because you know what it is, because you're saying 3-year groups, yeah?
Yeah, because I've just picked up a year group now. So 2020 was
you
1
had
year.
2020 to 2025, and then there was the one that
prior
ended
to that,
in 2020, 2015. Okay, because I came in 2017, so that year group that you had, that was your first year group.
Yeah, probably.
When I came into school.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, and so this year, I say this year, September, I started my 3rd year group.
Yeah.
With 360 interesting year 7s.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How are you finding that?
It's interesting again, because we had, was it my last year group? No, my year group before the last one was they called themselves the COVID children, because on 23rd, I'll never forget it, 23rd of March of that year, we had to get them all in the dining hall. And when we found out in the morning that the government was doing lockdown, Miss Hughes and I was running around trying to say, oh my God, what are we going to do? We need to do something for the kids. We need to get them all together. So we were going to shops to get things to dress the tables, talking to the dining staff, to arrange a special dinner, to get them down. And then we managed to get them all down slightly early. And we had to announce to them that, guys, this is it. You're leaving. Government have said lockdown and you have to kind of go. and it broke a lot of them because they were like, we wanted to do our GCSEs and we wanted to prove what we were worth, and it was hard. And then the following year group, we started in lockdown.
Yeah.
So everything was online. So they never came into school at the start of year 7. Everything was online. Then they came in and they were in bubbles, and then COVID-2 hit and it was online again. And then they kind of came back sort of in year 9, and then whole school. And then they were like year 8.
Yeah.
So these children that we've got were really quite young in terms of COVID. And the level of maturity is odd. A lot of the kids that have come in are really quite needy in terms of what they need. The parents are extremely protective, sometimes too overprotective. So we're having to deal with that. And we've got a lot of kids with needs this year, a lot of kids with needs. But, you know, it's a mixed bag. What can I say? Like I said, every year group has been different. And this is a brand new phase and a brand new bunch of kids with brand new issues and concerns or not, that I'm having to deal with. So I'm learning through these guys a lot more.
That is super exciting. I feel like it can be challenging, but like I love that because also it's like times are changing, innit? And then so it's like the set of issues you're dealing with now is different to the ones you're dealing with before. And it's like
100%.
no matter how experienced you feel like you are as a teacher, it's always something new because it's like the times, like, you know, you're dealing with different types of technology. Like AI was nowhere near as big when I was in school. And just things like that, like you have to kind of like deal with and navigate.
Yeah, I'm
But
still learning. Oh,
yeah,
I've discovered AI. It's now becoming my best friend. Where I know some people have, they're like AI gurus.
yeah.
And some of the kids know a lot more than I do. But I'm sort of thinking, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. But you have to use it correctly.
100%.
And I think some of the kids are starting to understand that because they'll bring in work, and some of the teachers will be saying, this isn't your work in terms of language and how it's written, because that's not how they write in their book. And all of a sudden they've gone home and Googled all this stuff and just thrown it in their book. And the teachers are saying things like, not what you would write. So it's technology, like you say, is one of the things that has changed. But the generation that I kind of have are not fully aware of how to use it to their advantage. They just use it to get through the process. Which is not the best.
Yeah, AI, you have to be very smart with how you use it. Even me, like when I use it, sometimes I'm like, okay, I need to take a break from AI because I'm scared that I'm gonna start losing like my what's the word? I don't want to say brain power, but like my ability to problem solve and do things. Because it's like if I'm constantly just making it do stuff for me,
For you,
for myself, yeah, that's something that I think people should like think. But going back to teaching, was it something that you always imagined yourself doing from young?
Nope.
No.
Oddly, nope. I never had any idea what I wanted to do. When I was at school, I mean, my parents from the Caribbean, they came over, and for them it was about working, sending money home, to build their house, to buy land. So yeah. And when I used to go back every summer with my mum because she would go to check on the house and the build and how things were. And when I'd finished school, I had no choice. I was suddenly told, right, we're sending you to Dominica. I was like, oh, okay. That's really good. And they was like, yeah. So and at that point, again, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but they had made the decision. Finished school. About 3 or 4 weeks after I'd finished, I managed to just get around, meet all my friends, and then my ticket was booked and I was gone. And so I lived in the Caribbean for a while with my aunt, which was interesting. And then I went to school there. And whilst I was there, I managed to meet a lot of people that became friends. In the Caribbean, what they do is, well, at those times, what they used to do is if you didn't pass your year, you stayed back.
Okay, yeah, I know that system.
Yeah,
I
so
think my mom has that as well.
yeah, so they just put me in the final year of school, even though I'd finished my school in the UK. They put me in the so I had to redo an entire year whilst I was there. Looking back, I'll be honest, it was an amazing experience. But whilst I was there, I just wanted to come back to the UK because this was where all my people were.
Yeah, I get that.
Then I came back and worked. I lived with my sister because my sister said to my mum, she wants to come home. So my mum was like, okay, take her. So then I came back to live with my sister. And then she supported me in getting my own place when I was 19. And from that point on, I kind of lived my life. No thought about what I wanted to do. Being a teacher only came into my head when someone said to me, because I started teaching fitness, because it was something that I enjoyed. Of sports, fitness, I enjoyed it. So I started to be fitness. I was a fitness instructor. And then someone said to me, why don't you become a PE teacher? And I was like, why? Why would I want to teach children? Are you mad? They're like, you were really good at it. And I was like, why would I really want to be teaching other people's children? You must be out of your mind. Yeah. And then I kind of sat back and thought, you know what? It might not be a bad shout. And one of the incentives was not just about being in schools and changing lives, because there were teachers in my life that influenced not my decision, but I remember to this day.
Yeah.
And then I had my son, and I thought, oh my God, I'm working, because I used to work in accounts, totally different. So, and I thought, I get up and leave the house at ridiculous o'clock. I get home at ridiculous o'clock. I will have no time, sort of holidays, to spend time with my children. I'll be shoving them in play schemes during the summer holidays, unless I take break. And I thought, you know what, let me just do it. So then I did my degree, I had my degree, and I thought, PGCE, do that, become a PE teacher. And I'll be honest, as you can see, 25 years later, I'm still there. So it wasn't a choice from childhood. It was just things that within my life that led me on that path.
No, everyone like has their own like journey into things. Some people know what they want from like a younger age, and then some people that, for example, for yourself, you got into it. But you know, regarding what's the word? How you grew up in the Caribbean. From what ages was that?
No, like, I was born in Newham.
Okay, so you're born here.
I was born in Newham, went to school in the UK, and went backwards and forwards to Dominica more or less every year, and spent most of my summers. Well, most of my summers were spent when I was in the UK with my aunt in Stevenage. But then some of my summers were spent in the Caribbean with my mum and my dad when they went back to sort out the house and sort out the land and all of that stuff. And I lived there for just over a year.
Okay.
Before I came back.
Okay. And what would you say on that? Sorry, yeah, go on.
No, go on. It was great. Looking back, like I said, at the time, I couldn't see the benefits, but looking back, I could see the joy.
Yeah. What would you say are the top lessons, like, or takeaways from being there for that year?
To see and be able to see students who didn't have the advantages that I had coming from a UK school, and how they felt that education was a privilege, a way of improving themselves, and a way of getting off the island, which was kind of sad. but it would mean that they would have the ability to leave the island and go and do, because it's a small island, and it's not very modern. And for a lot of the young people, then it was a case of they knew that education would take them elsewhere and improve their lives elsewhere. And so for them, it was a big deal. You know, it was a massive deal. We would go to school in the morning, finish at 1:00 because it was too hot to be in school after 1:00. So you'd go home, you'd have your lunch, you'd get changed out of your uniform because you couldn't be on the street in your uniform. You just don't do that.
Yeah.
And then we would literally go and find somewhere in the bush, go and sit under a tree, do our homework, finish our homework, put our stuff away, and then just chill for the rest of the day. So the way of life, in that sense, was a dream. And like I said at the time, I didn't know how precious it was, but looking back, I can see how precious it actually was. So experiencing it at the time, it was good, but because most of my life was in the UK, and my key friends and my childhood friends were from the UK, I just wanted to come home.
Yeah.
But I did make some phenomenal friends in Dominica who I still am in contact with today. And one of my friends is actually assistant deputy head teacher at the school that we used to go to.
No way.
Yeah. So it's called the Dominica Grammar School. And she's now deputy head teacher at the school.
Oh, I love that. That is cute. No, because like you're teaching, she's teaching.
Teaching, yeah.
Yeah. Like a full circle moment.
But it was good. It was like I said, looking back, I can appreciate the experience more. At the time, when you're young, you don't see all the positives that you have. You don't see the moments that are joyous. You enjoy them, but you don't realize how important they actually are at the time. Which is why now I want to go back.
Yeah.
I do.
I think you should though, like just like to have that time for a little bit. I think it will be nice. I feel like when you go back, especially to your root or like your country where parents are from and your origin, like you can feel it. I don't know what it is, but when you're there, you can just feel it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I eventually I call it my home.
Yeah.
And people say, "Where are you from?" And I go, "Dominica." I don't say Newham.
Yeah.
Because that's where I believe, as both my parents were born there, even though they gave birth to me here. That's where I believe I'm from. And like you say, when you're there, one of the biggest things for me is seeing people in roles that are like you. So you see firemen, and when I see the firemen, I just get all excited because it's like, they're all black.
Yeah.
And policemen and judges and people who work in banks and offices and people in response, like Doreen, she's assistant head teacher. And, you know, it's just, for me, it's just like seeing people like me in positions of authority, and just generally on the street and feeling no way about it. Maybe, you know, I don't know how you feel or others feel, but there's always this sense of, not that you don't belong, but there's always a little something.
Yeah.
Some sort of uncertainty or feeling that you don't quite fit 100%.
Yeah.
Whereas when I'm there, 100%.
Yeah. I get what you're saying exactly. I don't know if you know, like there's this streamer, like his name is iShow Speed, and recently he's been doing like an African tour, and like he's been showing the world like Africa and his experience of
I
going to
think I've
Africa.
seen something of him.
Yeah, and like I think especially with Americans, because Americans, I feel like they're so out of touch with like what goes on in the outer world.
Oh,
But
100%.
they were all like, "Oh my gosh, wow!" First of all, they didn't know Africa had things like cars and stuff. But anyway, that's a whole nother story in itself. It was a whole nother story within itself. But they were just like it was just showing them like the community feel that he had because he did the Europe tour and other tours, but like being able to just walk on the street and seeing everyone that kind of looks like you, everyone's taking you in, like it's not
Yeah.
like, and the community there, there's so much community.
Community, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas like here, it's not to say that everyone is mean or everyone is standoffishy, but it's very much like everyone is for themselves.
Yeah.
And if you're going out, if you're going on a vacation or whatever, you're just there like by yourself or like doing whatever for yourself. But he was really showing that like, I'm going back to a place where everyone looks like me and you don't feel a type of way, even though he was born in America, you
Mm,
know, he he was welcome there.
yeah. In the Caribbean, it's slightly different.
Yeah.
They do have a thing about. So
Mhm.
when I was younger and I was there, they used to call me the English girl.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
So and they do have they know, once you open your mouth and you don't have
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
accent, it's like, oh,
Um,
you're sorry from England. Not that it's a problem, but
mhm.
it's like, oh, okay, you're English.
Yeah.
So and
Yeah.
they kind of make a point of saying that regardless. But then on the flip side, like you say, they don't really care. When you go out,
Mhm.
they'll welcome you, they'll help you. You can, and
Mhm.
one of the things is, there was a woman who she travels on her own as a single woman. And she
Yeah.
actually said that Dominica was she felt it was one of the safest places to be. She said she could just be in the middle of
Mhm.
nowhere and people were just willing to help.
Yeah.
Whereas you come to the UK and you're in certain places and you don't want to ask nobody for help because you don't know whether you're going to get the help or whether you're going to get something different.
Yeah.
So yeah. So when you talk about what he said, the person that's sort of done the tour of Africa, I can get it. And
Yeah.
I think it's just the culture, our culture. Our culture is, you know what, live your life and be. There's no stress.
Yeah.
We're very kind of horizontal in that respect.
Mhm.
Haven't got time to have animosity or stress or any of that
Mhm.
stuff. And you come and have a good time, you know.
Yeah.
Just
That's so
be
true.
respectful, be mindful, but enjoy yourself.
Mhm.
Whereas here, you kind of always feel that you have to be a little bit weary and a little bit careful and a little bit,
Yeah.
on edge and a little bit mindful. And there's always a little bit of something.
Yeah. It's crazy and it's so funny because I've been talking about it a lot recently, even to like people who have been born elsewhere and like come here and like they will say how here, like, don't get it twisted because there's pros and cons to both places and stuff,
Mm,
but they would say how like when you come from a country like the Caribbean or Africa or whatnot, and then you come here, depression is more likely here. Like everyone is like, when I was in Africa, they told me there was no that didn't even exist. Like everyone is cool, like you're good, everyone is like doing their thing, and then you come here and then it's like you're stressed. Do you know what I mean? Because like
yeah.
everyone working hard, hustling, da, da, and I'm like, oh my gosh, but I don't know. There's like I said, there's pros and cons because I'm not gonna sit here and say like everything is amazing there and like everything is bad here. There's
No, but
both.
you're right. I mean, when I'm there,
Mhm.
it's like when I'm here and now I'm at home, you come in, you close your door and
Mhm.
that's like, that's it.
Yeah.
When I'm in Dominica, I can close my door, go sit out on my balcony. Yes, I can go sit in my garden, but it's just not the
Mhm.
same. It's not
Yeah.
the same
Yeah.
thing. Do you know what I mean? And if I
Mhm.
decide, I can go, oh, I'm going to go down to this river and just sit with my
Mhm.
feet in the river.
Mhm.
There are those little things that the island people, I guess, take for granted in a sense because for them it's every day, but they do it. And for
Mhm.
us, when we come home, we shut our door and we leave the world outside. Whereas when you're in those places, you have the opportunity to be somewhere else, go somewhere else. It's not you come home, you shut your door. Like I say, you go and sit on your balcony, you can watch the sunset. It's lovely. You can do it here, but the feeling and the vibe is different.
Different, 100%.
You leave your house, you can walk down the road, go find a river, go to the Sulphur Springs. It's just stuff like that. When we used to finish at the weekend, every weekend you go to the beach.
Yeah.
You want to go to the beach, you got to drive to Southend, and it's cold.
Yeah.
And the sea's nasty.
I get exactly what you mean. And the community, like I said, when you're there, everyone knows, oh, this is this person's child, or this is so and so's child. It's okay, everyone knows over here. It's just a bit like, oh, even you might even know someone. There's neighbors that you see on the regular, and like you might not even say anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really,
and that's why I say things like when I suppose even now, to a sense, you couldn't misbehave at school, because by the time you get in home, word has got home before you even reach home. And even now, similar sort of thing. You do your business in town. By the time you leave town and you get home, they know it's your business.
Yeah.
And I think it's just there's an element, I suppose, when people come here, they want the lifestyle, and they because in the Caribbean, when you say you're from London, everyone assumes that you've got money.
Yeah.
They always assume that you've got money.
Yes.
And it's like, you don't realize how hard we have to kind of work to get the money to just get the flight to get to here. But they do. It's always, they sort of think, oh, you come from London, then they just think you must have money.
Yeah.
And that's one of the frustrating things about it, that assumption that because you live and work in the UK or even America, I guess, that you must have money. But it's the understanding that, we work really hard. And again, it's like you say, we do. We're here and we work and we work and we work and we make our bucks. But the only time you can really enjoy it is when you go away.
Yeah.
You can enjoy it here to an extent, but when you go away and you go to those places, that's when you really kind of appreciate and enjoy.
Yeah.
When was the last time where have you been?
Where have I been? So my mum is Senegalese and my dad is Jamaican.
Right.
So I've been both. What was the experience? Jamaica was like a more recent. I think with Jamaica, it's a thing where a lot of our family are not there anymore. So a lot of my dad's like cousins and stuff have moved away. My nan's house is still there, thankfully, but she's passed away. But we had like our auntie and stuff. So I think my Jamaica experience, I loved, like, I think it was more of a thing where, where your soul feels it.
Yeah.
Because when we was there, we were actually at a hotel for my brother's wedding, but my soul felt like, it just like, I just felt, yeah.
You don't have to say anything. Unfortunately, this is going to be audio, but I can see your face. So your face sort of says it all. It's just relax, joy, no stress, no worry. No, and you don't wake up thinking, oh my God, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I've got to. Yeah. You just kind of wake up and it's like, okay, what's going to happen today?
Yeah, exactly. And even with Africa, it's the same thing. And like when I went like Senegal, I feel like the love there as well was like having all your aunties and like your mom's aunties and all of that. And like everyone is just there and they all treat you like you're their grandchild or you're their child. Do you know what I mean? And it's like you can really feel the love from the elders who are like looking at you, like, kind of like they're passing on the baton of like just generations. You can really feel that.
Yeah. No, I get it.
But yeah, I would love to go again. Like, I think I do. Like my soul needs that replenishment. Definitely.
I think you could go and do great things for young women.
Thank you.
No, 100%. Because they don't have the connect and things like what you're doing here. They don't have that. They don't have, and the young people, it's, I can't speak for all Caribbean islands, but the young people in Dominica are, they are disconnecting from their history, I guess.
Yeah.
They've got a KFC in town, and when you drive into the queue for the KFC is mad.
Yes, I
And
know.
I'm thinking,
My was like that too.
you've got food on the trees, you've got food in the ground, you've got so much, you got animal. Whereas before they used to cook, parents, families, young people, they used to cook and they used to teach their children to cook. They don't cook anymore. Now it's a case of they're just going to go dry. When we go to the beach, I couldn't believe it one year. Well, last year I was there, and normally we'd make up our own barbecue. So you'd bring your barbecue and you'd season your meat the night before and prep and take it. Those people go to KFC and buy buckets to take to the beach.
No way.
Yeah. They go to KFC and they will buy buckets of chicken and go to the beach.
Are you sure that wasn't tourists?
No. Island people. And that's how things are kind of changing. But I mean, the government, dare I say, are not very, for the people. They are slightly, I don't want to use, corrupt, I guess.
Yeah.
But, there's corruption everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
But that's how young people in the Caribbean are now. Everything is instant gratification. And I think for a lot of the young people nowadays, especially with my year 7s, I see a lot of it, instant gratification.
Okay.
They want everything and they want it now. They have no understanding of boundaries. Oh my God, my office is on the ground floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'd knock on the door and you'd wait for a response. They would knock on the door, and if they didn't get the response within like 10 seconds, they're knocking on the door again. You could be on the phone, then they're knocking on the door again, and you have to turn around and say to them, just give me a minute. And then when you say, yes, what do you want? They will literally walk up to your face. Personal space does not exist with these young people. And you have to say to them, just take a step back and let's have a talk.
Yeah.
So just certain things like that, they just, and there's is it empathy? Social emotional.
Yeah,
that's non-existent.
Yeah.
For a lot of them, it's non-existent. And I think COVID has a big part to play in that, because they spent years at home and not being social with their peers. And then when they did have that, it was not, I don't want to say regulated, but it wasn't discussed, maybe. It wasn't spoken about. It wasn't applied effectively. Because when we came out of lockdown, it was like straight back to school, targets, grades. Nothing about mental health.
Yeah.
Nothing about mental health, nothing about the impact that COVID could have had on mental health for the children. And we're seeing it now. It's and having to deal with it now, and it's hard work.
100%.
It's hard work.
And also, I think the internet is a big part to play in that. Like, a lot of kids are like, even my sister sometimes, they're just locked in the room, locked on the iPad.
Yeah.
This is the iPad generation, just like on it the whole time. Like, they struggle to like socialize, sit there and have a conversation.
Yeah, their conversations are on the phone. I was speaking to one boy in my year group who, not disruptive in the lesson, very quiet, but doesn't engage. Literally doesn't engage in any lesson. So and he doesn't speak. But he just chooses not to converse. Yeah. So I sort of managed to have a sort of a conversation with him, and I sort of said to him, when you're at home, what do you do? And I said, do you game? And he was like, no. Why not? I don't like gaming. Fair enough. Do you have a games console? No. Okay. Do you watch Netflix? No. Because my parents weren't allowed. They don't see the point. Okay, fine. No problem. Do you read? No. Okay. So what do you do? I watch TikTok. Is that all you do? Yeah. And I just chat on my phone. literally that's what he does. He goes home. I said, do you not converse with your family, your parents? He was like, no, can't be bothered. There's nothing I need to say. And that's his life. TikTok.
That's a lot of people's lives, though.
And talk on phones, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I just think, and in my head, I'm sort of thinking, what can I do to make students talk? And it's so difficult because of all the stuff that's going on at school. It's not like, whereas people like Miss Probert had opportunity to provide spaces for people to talk, for children to come together. That's now not a possibility anymore because there's so much stuff going on in terms of targets and grades and structure of school and lessons and how it needs to be taught. And yeah. So it's quite difficult. So I've seen in my 20 odd years a massive shift from the type of teaching that used to happen to the type of teaching that they now want to see. I mean, I'll be honest, if I knew now, or if I knew then what I know now as a teacher, I don't think I'd become a teacher.
Yeah. You know what? It's like, I don't even want to get into it because I get so passionate about this topic of like schools, and like every time, like my sisters know because I get so angry. I'm like, I feel like schools are now businesses, and they're no longer about the kids.
Yep. That's how.
I don't even want to like get, because I'm gonna get really heated.
No, I understand, and I've said that myself. I said it's more about a business, and it's more about targets, and it's more about grades, and squeezing the grades out of children. It's not, and there's I'll have to send it to you. That's why you need to get my thing. There's a thing that I sent to people on WhatsApp, and it was about a guy who asked AI, if you were the devil, how would you distress students' minds? And all the response that the AI gave was literally what's happening in the world today. It was so to the point. And one of the things they said was about education. They would make education more about memorizing than learning. So just remembering stuff to get through the exam as opposed to learning it, and not just learning it for the sake of learning it because, it's just things that you need to know, like you say, to engage your brain, to engage your mind, to allow you to have thought about things, as opposed to just, you need to remember this and remember that and remember that. So when the exam comes, you just transfer all of what you remembered from this piece of paper onto that piece of paper. And whether you remember it or not is irrelevant. Yeah. So, maybe one day we will have to have that conversation, but not now.
Because I don't know because I will be here for hours and my voice will change. But let's move on. I have a section, right? It's called Giving Flowers, and it's just a part where I allow the guests to honor a woman or a set of women, because I know in the world right now they love the media and just online love to put women against each other. So I just want to have a section dedicated where you can choose. It doesn't have to be one woman, it could be multiple, that you just want to dedicate this like section to, or give her a thanks.
There's not one. There's a load. I mean, I could say my mum, I could say my sister. So I think I've taken from bits. I think I would say that I've taken from a range of different women. Yeah. So it's like I've got like my mum, my sister. I mentioned to you about Miss Piper, who was head of year. So I've taken from her. Currently now when I'm at school, Miss Hughes, who I work with, I'm constantly taking from her. Yeah. I'm reading Simply More. Well, I've just finished it, audiobook by Cynthia Erivo. And some of the stuff that she says, I've cried listening to that audiobook because of some of the things that she said. So it's never, I'll be honest and say, once upon a time I would have felt like I needed to find a person, but this is part of my journey, I guess. There is no one person. It's a range of different people. that have impacted either practically, impractically, through book, through song, however, in what I do. So I cannot name just one, I'm afraid. There's too many. and students like yourself.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, because, like I said, I'm a teacher and I'm always learning. So, the fact that you do what you do, and you said I have had an influence on part of what you do, that has made an impact on me. So, hey, you're one of the many women in my life.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I feel so honored. Wait, but yeah, thank you so much. I feel like I wasn't even expecting that. I'm not gonna lie. That's it. Because no, it's not often that you're inspired from someone and then like they say you're an inspiration too. So it's just I just feel like yeah, that actually just made me feel like okay, that's
Yeah, I mean,
cute.
like I said, there's too many. My
Yeah,
daughter,
yeah,
just loads of women have
yeah.
have dropped something in my life that's made me go, okay,
Mhm.
and just look at things differently or shift how I do things in my life. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Women are amazing, that's why they're so
And you know
cool.
what? We are. And I say that all the time to some of the girls at school. Today, there was a whole he said, she said, and she said, and this one said, and that one said, and this one come and told me. And I just had to say to them, you don't need to stop.
Yeah,
And they sort of looked at me, and even Mr. Alade came in, and I said, this is one of the reasons why I kind of understand boys. Boys will
yeah.
hate each other for a time. They will
Mhm.
beat on each other in the morning or the afternoon. By the end of the day or the next
They're
day, they're
cool.
friends.
Yeah.
I said, we as women, we have this whole thing about baggage. Why do we do
Mhm.
that?
You know what it is, man? I think girls, yeah, their friendships are a lot more like I don't even want to say stronger, but they hold more importance, I feel like, compared to boys. And I feel like
No,
you
no.
think
But it's a different type of importance.
yeah, that's
It's a different because boys. I mean, my brother, who's older than me, obviously, but he's still in contact with his school friends.
yeah.
And he lives in Jamaica, and they live in America or wherever. Yeah, and
Mhm.
they have that, and and when he comes to the UK and they get together, that's what they do. But when women do it, in the back of their minds, there's always that. I remember when you did this, and I remember
Yeah.
when that happened. We won't say it, but it's
But
always there. It's always
yeah.
there.
Mhm.
Whereas me now, when I kind of go to people, and I know people, and I see some of my old school friends, I haven't got time to worry about what you did because that's
Yeah.
done.
Mhm.
That's done and that's past. And what I'm trying to get some of the girls at school to understand is we need to stop it.
Yeah.
We need to stop it. We need to stop harping on what this one said and what that one said, because at the end of the day, it doesn't serve you. It doesn't.
Mhm.
When I sent my daughter to school, I said to her, don't make no friends. I said to her, don't make no friends. Don't have no best friend,
Yeah.
because you'll get caught up in the 1 minute they really like you, the next minute they don't like you. You may have
Mm.
said something, and then someone's got back to this one, and then that one doesn't want to talk to you. That's just work. That's just work and
Yeah.
effort. And having
Mhm.
gone through it, I see the stress and I feel the pain, because I remember stuff from school.
Mhm.
I do, but it's no big deal for me now. But and she'd come home and she'd be like, "Oh, this has happened and that had happened," and I'd be like, "Babe, you just need to step away."
Mhm.
Step away. And then one day she came home and she was like, "You know what, Mum? I just kind of take my book now and I don't sit under the tree at school and I just
Yeah.
read my book." And I went, "That's cool." And you do that, and they will say what they need to say because they think you're being extra or awkward or whatever. Eventually they'll get bored and the right people will find you.
100%. 100%. And you know what? Because when I went sixth form, right? When I first started sixth form, I went in and I was like, you know what? My intention is not to make friends. And I didn't say like I'm not going to, but
Yeah.
I was like, that's not what I'm here for, right? And I remember even when I first started, there was a set of people that I was with, and I was like, these people are not really for me. And so I started distancing myself, and I would literally sit on the sofa, read a book, or scroll on my phone, whatever, by myself. I would be by myself.
Mm.
And like, that was just me, like, and I could have appeared lonely, which in secondary school would have been my biggest fear, because I was like, there's no way I can be alone. I'm gonna look like da, da, da. But anyway, at this point, I was like, look, I don't really care. I would rather be by myself than not to have people, like, to have people that don't align with me, or like, yeah,
Yeah.
around me. And then I met like the most amazing friends ever. Like, I love my friends, and they've taught me so much about myself and about friendship as well. Because before, when I was in school, like I said, like you were saying, there's just all this drama, riff raff, this person, that person, da 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 da.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that, and it was just like, it was just too much for me, and it was just like, it, I had some friends, but even then, like, some of them, they didn't feel as aligned as the ones that I have now,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Because
of
there was
course.
just too much there was just too much, like,
Yeah.
there was just too much that came with it, and when you kind of, like, make that decision, "Okay, look, I'm just gonna do me," that's
Yeah.
when you find the most amazing set of people. So I
Absolutely.
definitely agree with that.
Yeah, and
Definitely.
I know it's going to be hard because, like you say, when you're in secondary school, you don't want to be that one that's on the sideline for people to kind of be going. But you know, and she got through it, and she did.
Mhm,
And I mean, she's her friends. She still has friends, but like you,
mhm,
when she went to college, she made a whole new batch of people, which
mhm,
she even now they got together just after Christmas.
mhm.
So, you know, but I think also with both my kids, they
Yeah,
were happy to leave school
yeah, no.
because I remember my son saying to me when he started college, he was like, it's so nice to be in a classroom with people who want to learn.
Yeah,
I'll never forget that. And he said, because when you're in school, and there's people there and you want to get on. You may not like the subject, but you want to get on. And then you've got the people who just kind of disrupt because
yeah,
whatever reason, and they're just a nightmare and they just make the whole lesson just rubbish. So he couldn't wait to leave school. Neither of
mhm,
them could. So when they left, it was like they were in a totally different space. And like you say, they were with people that they could align with,
yeah,
like-minded people who wanted to be there. So some
mhm,
people just outgrow school. Um, but I have some of the girl, this whole girl thing is just, I don't know if it will ever go away. I think it's just in our DNA. And some
mhm,
of us will get it at certain points in our life, and maybe some of us won't. But if I can drip feed
mhm.
elements of don't sweat the small stuff, you know, that's not what you're here for, to some of the girls
100%.
in school at the moment, then, you know, and take it through to year 11, then that's one box ticked, I guess, in terms of my role.
Mhm. Yeah, 100%. I feel like also though, I think when you come into secondary, yeah, I feel like there's a lot of girls who feel like that's what they need to be like. And they feel like that's a narrative that they need to fulfill, because I feel like in primary, people don't even have school drama like that. Like, it's little kiddie things, you know? And then somehow you come into year 7 and everyone is like, "Oh my gosh, she said, he said, they said, we said," like,
Yeah,
and it's just like it becomes a big thing, because even like I look back to year 7 for me, and I think of all the issues, there were so many minor, insignificant problems that happened, and it was crazy, because you know what would happen, yeah? It would be like people would have a beef, or this person's not talking, and then 2 weeks later, "Oh, let's bless it, let's sort it out, da, da, da."
yeah,
And then the next week, the same thing, and then it will, like, intertwine. Now this friendship, this person's moved to this side, this
yeah,
person's moved to this side,
yeah,
and every few weeks it would switch up,
something,
obviously, and then by year 11 I feel like the conflicts became slightly more serious, but it
right.
wasn't as common, but they were more serious, if that made sense. It was like the
Mm,
same set of people. Whereas, like, I feel like in year 7, it was just like everyone was just having issues with everyone
yeah.
every other week, if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course. Because one of the other thing that I've sort of said, I say to people is when you were in primary reception, year
Mhm.
1, 2, you didn't give a damn who you played with.
Yeah.
You didn't care. Because you just wanted to have fun and be a child. There were no issues. There was no big deal. People could still maybe say stuff, but you were like, whatever, I don't care. Then all
Yeah.
of a sudden, it
Or you would just
became,
do a little thumbs down and walk off.
yeah. And then all of a sudden, the words became, that the words were given meaning. And then everything suddenly meant something. And then it became a big deal. And my thing in my head is, at what point in a child's life do you go from being a child and just living your life and not really caring about what people say or do or who you play with or what they look like, to suddenly having all of those things be a factor in how you live?
Mm.
That's always been a fascination for me. When does that shift happen? When do you go from not caring to just enjoying yourself, and even the lessons, just doing the lessons and then going out to play and doing your lessons and then going out to lunch and everything's fine, to just, I don't want to sit next to you, or I don't want to sit next to a boy, or I don't want to sit next to that girl, or we're not speaking anymore? Or when did that suddenly become, I can never understand at what age that kicks in. So I'm sure
Yeah.
someone out
I
there has
th-
done some research on it.
Probably. I feel like, I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure I think especially when you make that jump from primary to
To
secondary,
secondary,
especially
yeah.
around image, the way you want to be perceived. I think
Oh,
social media plays such a big part in it now as well. And then
yep,
ego.
yep,
So it's like, if someone is trying crap about you, and then someone comes to you saying that they're trying crap about you, the right thing to do, what apparent like in everyone else's eyes, is now you need to do something back, or like you need to confront
yeah,
that.
yeah,
If you don't confront that, you look a certain way. Da, 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 da.
yeah,
Then one thing I hate, and it's really sad. It's always guys who are coming and instigating girls drama,
yep,
beef,
yep,
like just to stir the little pot. They will come in and like instigate, and they don't even care. They're just doing it for entertainment, and then
yep,
the girls are just like, will give in to that, and then it's like, ugh, it's just so irritating.
yeah.
I'm just
And they
like,
don't
we
see it.
need to do better. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Like
yeah,
we need to do better in terms of like choosing to ignore whatever it is that, because the response that these boys or even girls, whoever, want from you, you don't have to give in to
give
that.
it to them. Yeah, of
Like,
course.
yeah, it really
But it
doesn't
is, it's like you
matter.
say, it's always about having to save face, or this one said that, you can't just let it go.
Hmm.
You've got to go and do something about it. No, you don't. I don't
Hmm.
have to do anything
Yeah,
about it.
exactly.
What am I going to get out of it? Nothing. You're going to get, I
Exactly.
will probably get suspended or a detention. You get entertainment. Why?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's hard though. I know it's hard, because the thing is, because I remember being at school and like not responding and stuff like that. Just your dad, like, you're not saying anything, yada yada yada. But then it's like, also, the people who they were trying to instigate and stuff, they it's not, how do I explain it? It's not that they're doing it because they actually care. They're doing it solely for entertainment. And you sit there, think, because they're telling you, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, you think that they might be respecting you more for it,
Yeah.
because that's what they're saying, but that's not what they actually mean.
It's mean.
Do
Yeah.
you get what I mean? They're
Yeah.
just using as that form of entertainment. Whereas like someone who might not retaliate, in the moment everyone is looking at me like, oh, or might be looking at whoever it is that's choosing not to retaliate, like, oh, you're so boring, you're so this, you're so that, you're so this and you're so that. But then you will see the way that those people approach you will be way different to compare to the people that they know, or always clapping back or like having something to say.
They do. They push you into stuff, or they push people into stuff.
Hmm.
And you, like you say, they do. There is that thought of, they're doing it because they kind of care for you and they want you to be strong and they
Hmm.
want you to stand up for yourself. No, they don't. They just want
And so
to, yeah,
they
literally.
just want entertainment.
Because they say,
Yeah.
when you get into trouble, where are they? In their lesson. Duh.
Yeah. Literally. It's literally as you said. And it's just like, I remember I would have people like come up to me and be like, "Oh, I don't understand because people will say, "Oh, I'm easily aggravated," or "I'm easily this, I'm easily that." And then the moment I choose not to retaliate or I choose not to something, they would then be like, "Oh, like why are you not retaliating? You need to stick up for yourself, blah de blah de blah." And I'm like, because you need to look at it. These people don't actually care.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Like they they just want
No, yeah,
just want entertainment from you. And it's like in the moments that you think when like they're saying, "Oh, you're this, you're that," for not responding, for not saying anything. Yeah, they might not verbally say that they they respect you or this and that, but I promise you, the way that they then approach you, they're not gonna annoy you as much because they know you're not someone who likes to get
yeah. There's
you know what
strength in silence.
exactly.
There's strength in
And
silence.
I feel like that's what I found when I was in school, even though people would say to me, "Oh, Fatima, like, oh, you're so this, you're so that, da da da." Like at the end of the day, the way you approached me compared to the way you approach people who might have retaliated was way different.
Yeah.
So call me whatever you like, but I'm fine where I am. Do you know what I mean?
And that's one of the other things about people being okay with themselves. And a lot of girls, unfortunately, are not okay with themselves because part of
Mhm,
it is what you say, social media. They feel that they have to look a certain way or be a certain way or act a certain way, and in order for people to like them. So again, I go back to one of the girls in my old year group who used to wear lashes, and I was
mhm,
like, "Why are you wearing those big sails on your eyes?" And she was
yeah,
like, "Well, somebody said to me that I look really pretty with them on," and I went, did they say that beforehand? They went, no. I said, well, no, well, maybe they need to take a better look at you because,
mhm,
you've just put something on and you're, apart from the lashes, you were pretty before the lashes. And that's what they needed to identify you with or identify
mhm,
you as being pretty before the lashes. Why is it all of a sudden you got the lashes on? You look different,
mhm,
but why is it a case of you look prettier with the lashes? You just look different.
yeah,
They accentuate your features, but
yeah,
your natural features are just as beautiful, if not more so. And
100,
the fact that they cannot get that again is frustrating. That because someone said they look nice with the lipstick or they look nice with the eyeshadow, then they're going to wear it more and more and more. They didn't dislike you without it. They've made a comment about how you look with it, but that doesn't mean that you then have to change to fit their narrative.
100%.
Annoying.
I know. And
I had
it's
to tell.
so hard. Sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, no, I just had to say one of my year 7 girls today. I just went to her. You see this?
Yeah.
Look tomorrow, and she went, yes, miss.
No, because it's but this is what I'm saying because I was literally saying it to Miss Probot like last episode, and I was just talking about how it's so much more complicated now, and it's so difficult, and I feel so bad for everyone, like because with social media, it just amplifies things 10 times, not even like 1,000 times more, and like I'm so happy that I had my parents who were able to talk to me about those things and kind of like validate how I looked and not feel the need to push that narrative of like, you need the makeup and da 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 da.
Yeah,
Even me, I know how it feels because you will be on social media, miss, and you see these girls and you see your age mates and you see them with the wigs and the lashes and the nails and everything, and you're thinking, damn. I look at me and I look like I'm 12. This girl looks like, she's grown, she's doing da 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 da. And then, like, you're just kind of making that comparison, like, well, maybe I should start doing this a little bit differently. Do you know what I mean? Especially when
yeah.
you're getting to that age and then, you know, okay, this person's getting attention or that person's getting attention, and then you're just looking at yourself and it can make you really feel like a certain type of way. So
But the
I
question is,
understand
are they getting the attention for the right reasons?
exactly, exactly. And that's why I'm comfortable with where I'm at. That's one
This-
thing that I had to like tell myself and I know, so that's why I'm just like I'm cool. Do you know what I mean? But however, for other people they don't understand that.
But you know what? Being comfortable in your own skin is key. It's not easy. But it
Important.
is
Yeah.
it is something that young people, young girls, need to learn to be. And
100%.
like you say, you had parents, and I was like that with my children. And the fact that some parents will allow their children to leave their house.
Yeah. 100%. It's the pressure. That's what I'm saying. It's literally the pressure. And I told you, like social media. it will amplify that. And I think in a world where, like you said, like the guy in your year group, that's all you're on. Like you go to school, you come back, TikTok, 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 TikTok. That's
Yeah.
your reality now. That's your reality now. So now you're seeing all these other girls dressed up looking like this. You're like, and then you're looking at yourself and you're like, hold on. And then that's the two worlds they're seeing. So now they're trying to see what they take online and bring that into the reality in real life and dress up and do all of that all the cool things. And it's like sometimes I just want to take girls and like just shake them and wake
Shake
them
the
up. Like it's just like, guys, like it's okay. It. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like you, but again, it is social media, but also I say it as a parent, it's parenting,
yeah,
because they don't necessarily have the support of the parents for the parents to say, and I don't know if they say, you're beautiful, you don't need to be different. Maya, one day, I remember when she was at secondary school, she was like, can I wear this? No. What for? Yeah, well, other girls, I don't care. I didn't put any of the other
mm-hmm,
girls on this earth. I put you on the earth, and you're beautiful as you
yeah,
are. You don't need to be putting anything on your face because the other girls are doing it. What you need to do is go to school and put in your brain. That's it.
mm-hmm,
I said, when you finish school, do what you like.
yeah,
Paint it, colour it, don't care. But whilst you're there at school, you're there for that reason and you're there for the learning. And I said, and why would you want to dress or be a certain way at school and then be the same way on the street when you're going out with your friends? You
yeah,
want to be a certain way at school, and then when you go out, you want to look different for them to go, oh, you look really nice.
mm-hmm,
Yeah. Otherwise, you look really nice at school. You don't look no different when you're out, and you look really nice when you're out.
yeah,
So just should be versatile in that respect. Go to school, be what you need to be at school. When you go out, you want to put on a little makeup that's there with your mates. Fine, not a problem. But it doesn't need to be in school. Doesn't need
yeah,
to be in school.
100%, 100%. Even
And
when
then
it
look at
comes
me.
to that. Because my
Uh,
mom used to always do that too. Like if I would come back and say, "Oh, but this person's got this. Oh, but this person's got
mm,
that." Oh my days, I, that was it. She was like, "Don't come here and tell me about what this person got." So this person, da, 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 da. I'm just like, okay, sorry. Like I could not come and talk about, oh, but this person has
nope.
this, but this person has
Neither could my daughter.
that.
No.
Forget about it, because it's like that. You're not that person. That person's not you. That person is not my
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
responsibility and stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, I get that 100%. And I think like it's important to, what's the word? Reiterate, like it's, of course, go to school looking presentable.
Yep.
That's a complete different thing. Like present yourself well. But then to go above and beyond, like there's just not a need, especially when your intention is for other people, is to impress others, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And I think that's wherein the issue lies, because it's like now this is no longer about feeling confident in yourself. It's solely because of praise and for other people. And unfortunately, when you rely on that, like it will mess you up. Because from the moment, you do a new hairstyle or try a new look and no one's saying anything to you, you feel a type of way,
Mm,
you know? And it's like the way you walk, your confidence relies on others, essentially.
yeah. Yeah. Now though, it's really interesting. They're trying to do away with the makeup at school.
Mhm.
So what they've said to the year, because no lashes, no
Mhm.
makeup, so they can't go into their exam if they're
Oh.
wearing makeup or lashes.
Mm.
And nose piercings was the initial thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So no nose piercings,
Oh my god.
no lashes, no eye makeup, no Mendy. So they can't,
So
none of that
crazy.
when they go in. So a lot of the year 11 girls who used to wear makeup, now I see them without makeup and I have to go, oh, look at you, gorgeous. And they look at
Yeah.
me and smile. And I think,
Mm.
what? When you had your
Yeah,
war paint on, I couldn't even recognize you.
yeah. No, I love that. You know what? It's so good that you're doing that, because I think I I just feel for them, because it's like I know so many girls who are just so insecure without makeup.
Mm.
So insecure. And I just feel so, but I'm just like, I don't know what it is gonna take for you to just be able to look at yourself and be like, I am enough. Like, I am perfect the way that I am.
I am, yeah.
Like, it's one thing to just quickly to just set a rule and say you're not allowed makeup, you're not allowed this, you're not allowed that. But when someone is deeply insecure, it's important to give them that reassurance and to help them get through the deep rooted issue, if you know what
Mm,
I'm. Because when you walk in, for example, me, when I was in school, like towards the beginning when my hair was a lot shorter, I was very insecure about my hair. And if I had ever come into school with my natural hair, forget about it. Like I was so like I was not confident throughout the day. Even like in lessons, I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to draw attention to myself. I'll hide. Do you know what I mean? And that's a
yeah,
crappy feeling, especially if you're doing exams. So I can imagine like someone who's used to makeup, and then coming into exam and just feeling so crap about themselves. I think it's very important to like get to the for those who are insecure and feel that type of way, offering them that assurance of like, you are beautiful the way you are, and helping them tackle that instead of just, oh, you're not allowed lashes, you're not allowed makeup. Because it is a
yeah,
lot deeper than that now, if you know what I mean.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I don't think many teachers have those conversations or make those comments. It is just about take them off, you're not allowed. But I
Yeah.
will try to back it up with you don't need it.
Mhm.
Why are you wearing it? It's you know, you never had it on before, you didn't have it on in year 6. You don't need it
Mhm.
now. You don't need it. You're beautiful just the way you are. But again,
Mhm.
if it's not something that they're being told regularly, then they
Mhm.
won't hear it and they won't get it because
Yeah.
they've never been told. They've just been told that when they have the makeup that they look lovely, they look beautiful. So
Mhm.
that's it moving forwards. If they were told that without it, then they might not have made that shift.
Mm.
So there's not enough of you don't need it. What are you wearing the
Yeah.
makeup for? You look gorgeous without it. Please,
Mhm.
stop wearing it. You look pretty. And I do. And there's one year 11 girl who suddenly, and every so often I see her and I sort of go, oh, glowing. Look at you. And I get a smile and I think, yeah. So, I get a little bit of a smile
Mm.
just to remind her and to remind a few of the others that, you know what? I never used to bother you when you had it on, but now you've got it off. I'm looking at you and I'm telling you how gorgeous you look. Before I
Yeah.
didn't used to give you a time of day. So
Yeah.
a bit more of that needs to be told
So.
in order for them to understand that they don't need to have it.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's who's
100%.
going to do that. As like I said, and again, like you say, if they're not getting it at home, it's going to be hard.
Home is, you know what? Because even when you're saying about parenting, home is super important. I think
Mm,
that's where it all begins. Because for me, from when I was little, both of my parents would reiterate that. My dad would not fail to make sure that we knew that we were enough. Like,
yeah,
it was a consistent thing from a little girl to now. Even just how he will call us. Oh, you're right, beautiful. Da, da, da. Do you know what I mean? Things like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
It it will take a it helps with how your confidence then comes out
yeah,
when you get to that stage.
yeah, 100% agreed.
Yeah. But hopefully, I mean, baby steps in it. Hopefully, with like teachers like you, we can combat that. And
Yeah, I mean, you know what? You save as many as you save, and
yeah.
you get as many as you can on board and understanding. It's not going to be everybody, but the ones that you do capture, it's all good, and that's part of the teaching experience. The ones that you do capture, um,
Mhm.
will always remember you, and you might see them every so often,
Mhm.
or you get the thank you at the end, and that for me is another reason
Yeah.
why I guess I've stayed, because it's just nice to see the comebacks. And it's really weird because I see parents who have brought their children who used to be students. So, like somebody lots of kids in my year group, a lot of
Yeah.
their parents are ex-students from way back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and and they kind of remember you and they say thank
Mhm.
you, and that's the part of teaching
Mhm.
that I love.
Mhm.
All the negative stuff, which there's usually a lot of, it's
Mhm.
those moments that makes you realize, you know what, this is why I do what I do.
Yeah.
And like I say, even if it's a handful that you manage to have an impact on, is paying it forwards is always a great thing. So they will always pay it forwards, and they will always pay it all forwards. So like you have remembered myself and people like Miss Probert and things that we've done, and now you are paying it forward. So we've done our bit.
Yeah.
We've done our bit.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Honestly, out like from the bottom of my heart, man. Like I think back to you guys all the time. Just even so many teachers, just in general, especially in school. Because even going back to like when we was talking about how schools and like, everything is about academics and yada yada yada. Yeah, cool. I love studying. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie. I love studying, but I think I learned way more from extracurricular stuff and associating myself with like being with you guys. Those lessons have stuck with me way more than anything I've learned in like geography or math. And
Because it's
it's
real
just like,
talk. You know, like when you're in Mr. It's real talk. When you sit in Mr. O's room and you just talk. And you just have those conversations and you talk about life and those opportunities where you can be real and you can be open and say what you need to say with no judgment. And just have a teacher go, yeah, you're right, or no, you're not right, or you debate what it is you need to say. Outside of the classroom, those things don't happen enough, and to have those spaces to do that is essential, and and they're necessary because it gives students the opportunity to express and not feel a way about having to do it and not be judged on it. And that's one of the things like we were talking about earlier on, that is about being judged. A lot of people do what they do because they don't want to be judged. They want to fit in. They want to be part of, they want to look good. And they don't want to be judged on how they actually are, because they're then out of the little circle. They're not in people's narratives. And like you say, those spaces that you had outside of the learning was an important space. And, we don't have them that often, but when we do and they make the impact, it's a special thing.
100%. 100%. And I'm so glad for it and appreciative for it.
But we as teachers enjoy it. We do.
Yeah.
We love it. And afterwards we'll kind of go, yeah, do you remember that conversation we had? Yeah, do you remember that?
Yeah.
So for us, so for us it is. And then other conversations will come up with students, and then conversations that we've had with students like yourselves, we can say, we knew this student who did. So we can bring all of that into current narratives of people and of students because of how you've allowed us into your space, by being open and being free and being able to talk and being comfortable. And, and we can say to people that we've had students do that and be that. And you know what? It's been all good. So we use you guys as examples, believe it or not, for when we talk to the younger generation.
Oh, that is but you know what it is like? It's also you guys, in terms of how you allowed that space for us. And the thing is like each teacher has their own individual like thing that they bring. Like for you, like you helped me so much with when I was in school. Yeah, I just felt like I had to be so strong, know it all, da da da. Like this idea of like a black woman has to be strong and like just she has to. Anyway, so in year 11, I was very much trying to I was coming into the grasp of understanding vulnerability and like allowing myself to be vulnerable. And I felt like when I was navigating that, you were like the main person who just helped me feel safe in doing that. Because I would always come to you when like things would happen. And at this point, I was so new to allowing myself to feel sad or like in front of people. Do you know what I mean? Or like be distressed. And like I remember even like seeing you in the corridor or just like start crying or like going to you for stuff. And like sometimes you was like that nudge, like of like you was harsh but soft at the same. I don't even know how you got it so perfect, but like you would tell me like, oh, you need to go out. You need to go out. I'm gonna make sure you go out. Like, cause like I would have so much on my mind and stuff. But it was, I'm just so grateful for that. Cause it was like having you there. I just don't know how I would have done it without you, honestly.
You're very welcome. That's one of the joys of being a teacher,
Mhm.
and being able to connect with students on that level.
Yeah.
So, and to be honest, there are times when I do, and I don't realize I'm doing because I just do.
Yeah.
So it's not even about being a teacher. It's just about being a person.
Mhm.
And, it's about being a mum. It's about being, yes, a teacher. It's about being a female. It's
Mhm.
just about being a person and wanting for everybody to just be happy. Oh my gosh, and enjoy, and just to get through, and for them to realize that there are people who they can talk to and come to, and no judgment, because that's a big thing, I think, for young
Mhm.
people, judgment. Um, and once we have our little thing and people go away happy, and they've yelled and screamed and shouted and done what they need to do, and if they've let it all go, then that's it. And if I can be that sounding board, then I'm good
Mhm.
with that. I'm good with
Yeah.
that. I'm good.
Yeah. 100%.
Miss
Yeah. You.
Dennis. Yeah. Yeah,
I was,
okay, fine, yeah, no problem.
I remember
Okay.
I would come into your office like, cause you know what it was? I think when I was head girl, I wanted to do so much.
And
And
it
they just
wasn't
wouldn't allow me.
happening. Yeah.
Yeah. I was so frustrated. I was like, I'm trying, and nothing. No one's letting me do
But it's
anything. Like,
really funny now. Look, you weren't able to then
mhm.
because it wasn't your time.
Yeah.
Now look at what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're doing what you want,
Yeah. Yeah.
because this is
100%.
this is where you were supposed to be, I guess.
Mm.
I'm not religious.
Mm.
There are things that happened in my past that kind of made me question.
Mm.
But I do believe in the universe, so I put things out to the universe. And
Okay.
and at that time, where you were, as your frustration was not where you were supposed to be, because this is what's happening now. So you now have that platform to have that voice and to say what you need to say and to do
Mhm.
exactly what it is you wanted to do that you
Mhm.
couldn't do in school, but maybe in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
And that's what it is, I never used to really believe it, but they say things happen for a reason. And
Yeah.
and there are things that I probably never used to pay much attention to, but there's elements now in my life where I pay attention, and it's like, oh, okay, I put that out there to the universe, and this is how I get it back. And I do, if I put something out there to the universe,
Mm.
I know I get it back, but never necessarily in the way I want it, because it will never give
Yeah.
it to you how you want it. It's always not expected.
On it.
Um,
Yeah. So.
so I believe in that. And then also things like just how my day pans out nowadays. I try to make sure that my mind's clear when I get up in the morning, and my thing is I'm going to have a good day. And
Mhm.
if stuff comes to me, depending on how people are, I have to remember that it's their story and not to get caught up in their story. So whereas once upon a time, a teacher, a member of my staff, like SLT, might come to me and say, "Oh, Miss Dennis," and I would be like, "Really?" Just kind of,
Mm.
and I'd get really mad. Now I just kind of go, "Okay,"
Yeah.
because I think, they've come and said it to me in a certain way. I don't know what their story is. They might have had a
Yeah.
bad night. They might have had a bad
Mhm.
morning.
Yeah.
So they've just come, and my other big thing is thank you. People panic when I say thank you.
Is it? Wait,
Yeah.
give an example. Like, how do you?
Oh my God, miss, can I say names? I guess I have to now. There was a little bit of a set to between myself and him in front of students in a detention. And I had to say to him, this isn't the time for us to have this conversation. And then later, normally I would have just left it and let it fester and gone home and cried and be really upset. And I
Yeah.
just thought, you know what? No, I can't. I need to just let people know. So I sort of approached him and I sort of said, just a word. I just want to let you know how I feel. You don't have to do anything with it, but I didn't appreciate this. I didn't like the way that happened. And he tried to explain why he did it. And I was said, that's fine. But I just want you to know that at that point, at that time, I didn't feel that it was right. And this is how I felt. But at the same time, I want to say thank you. And he went, I don't know what to do with that. And I went, you can do what you like with it. But I just want to say thank you. And I say it because in the confrontations or possible altercations or situations that may come up with people, I then learn about their behavior, which is why I say thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
So if,
I like that.
do you see what I mean? So if something's happened or someone said something or or there's a bit of an altercation, I just sort of take a step back and I take a deep breath and I sort of reflect on it a bit. And then I just have to go, thank you. And they look at me like, and I think, because you know what? I now know how to deal with you. I now know how to deal with you. I now know, what moving forwards, how our working relationship is going to be. Because with this person, I'd heard a lot of people say, oh, he's this way. And I'd never come across the negative parts of how he'd been. And it was that one time where I got it that time. So that's why I just had to say to him, thank you. Because you know what? In my head, I thought, now I know. I get it. It's all good. And he did. He was like, I don't know what to do with that. And I said, you can do with it what you want. I just wanted to say thank you, because in my head, I'm like, now I understand. Now I fully understand and appreciate. And then he'd walk down the corridor and every so put his head down.
You know, I need to leave out that book, because me with my manager, I should probably start saying thank you.
Yeah, because they don't know what to do with that. And it is also about learning. When stuff happens, two things, you don't know what their story is.
Yeah.
And they may be reacting the way they act towards you because they have a story. And it could be anything from they didn't get any last night to they woke up and they had a really bad night's sleep. Do you know what I mean? And people take things out on people without realizing it because of how they are in that moment. So I've learned not to take on people's stories. So when people snap at me, rather than me go, I just kind of go, okay, they must have a bit of a story, because sometimes it's not normally how they are. So therefore, in that moment, there's something going on.
Yeah.
And it's just easier to deal with people that way rather than take things personally. I just go, yeah, you got a story. Don't know what it is, but it's all good. And then, when you have your little confrontations, at the end of it, you go, thank you.
Thank you.
And they look at you like, what did I do?
Yeah, it's so funny, because I was literally thinking about this today, like, because when I was coming back from work, I was like, oh, I can't stand humans, like, oh, like, I was so frustrated, And then I remember just saying to myself, you know what? I'm gonna look at this person feeling sorry for them, because I was like, you know what? Like, maybe, like, because you just, like you said, you don't know their story, you don't know what. And it's easier for me to look at you from a place of pity, so that I don't feel the need to, like, punch someone. And I'm not even a violent person, but sometimes people, like, I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like, some people get irritated, but I feel like at the end of the day, it's on me to decide how I'm gonna control my emotions towards this, because I
Absolutely.
can't control how you're gonna act, or if you're gonna still be this way or whatever. But if I choose it from a place of, okay, you know what, you're probably like going through something or whatever, it
Don't
helps
know
you.
your story, and I'm not taking it
Yeah,
on.
exactly, 100%. But I will say though, you know what my problem is? I'm very like passionate when things are not right.
Yep.
So when someone does something is not right, I'm I'm just like, but why? Like, what you're doing is so wrong. It's so incorrect, and I always wanna like, I always feel the need to fight or at least say something or like do something because I wouldn't say I'm the most confrontational person.
Mm.
However, my face, it doesn't lie. I'm not gonna lie, like, it doesn't lie. People always tell me, Fatima, your face. I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know what face I'm making right now,
Yeah.
but so I know people definitely get the hint, but it's just like sometimes when I know that something is not right. For example, like if I'm at work and everyone is miserable, no one's like, for me, it's like I can't sit here and not do something about it. In my head, it's like I need to speak up for this. Do you know what I mean? Like, especially when I have like certain values and things, and I'm like, this is not right. And I feel like that's why sometimes I take things on a lot, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, it's bothering me because what you're doing is incorrect.
When you
Do
say
you
what they're doing, what do you mean?
It's just like in terms of how you're making people feel and
No,
how
see,
you're
no, see
treating.
that. Don't forget, they're not making anybody feel any way. It's how you're
Mm,
choosing to feel,
yeah.
which is
Ooh.
why I say don't take
uh,
on their story, because then that
Yeah.
way you choose to feel that way. So
Mm,
so somebody could be miserable, and you could just be happy. And if
yeah.
they're being miserable, you know what? That's your story. I'm having a good day.
Mhm.
Yeah, because sometimes some of the kids, I'll get mixed. Some of the kids go, "Oh, why are you happy today?" And I have to go, "I'm always happy." And they look at me and I go, "Yeah, I'm always happy. It's when people are not doing what they're supposed to be doing and they're misbehaving, then I'm not always that happy. And I have to
Mm,
then make it real clear. But
mhm.
otherwise, I'm always happy." So like now when people say to me, "How are you?" I go, "I'm great. I'm great." And when you think about it, I am. Because,
Yeah.
I've got what I need. I've got the
Mhm.
basics. I've got everything. So realistically, I am great. My
Great. Yeah.
life and my situation may be not brilliant, but when
Mhm.
you ask me that question, how are you? I will tell you how I am. I am great. You didn't
Mhm.
say, how are things or how's your life?
Mm.
Yeah. You said, how are you? I'm great. And they
Mhm.
sort of look at me and they go, good. And I think, yeah,
Mhm.
because I am.
Yeah.
What's happening with me outside of me may not be great, but I personally am great. And that's how I try to move forwards in my life and spend my day. Um,
Mhm.
and so like when people are vexed or miserable or upset, I just have to go, never mind. And in my head,
Yeah.
I'm like, it's your story. That's okay.
Mhm.
And there's some things that I also send out to people. There's a guy that I listen to. He's like a Buddhist.
Mhm.
And he just talks about how we take on people's, like you say, their emotions. We
Yeah.
invest in their stories and we get caught up in it. And then we then ourselves just kind of get stressed and frustrated and annoyed, and we should just stop doing it.
Mhm.
If they have their stories, that's their story. Don't get caught up in other people's stories because it's hard work.
Yeah. 100%.
It's hard
It's
work. So
Yeah. So you were saying?
start saying thank you.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna take a leaf out of that book. But it's what I was saying is it's very similar to, there's a book that I was reading, it's called The Courage to Be Disliked. And basically what he talks about in it is like this concept of separation of tasks. And basically what he's saying is like when you do something, or like how other people take it is not your task.
Mm,
When you try to control how other people respond or how other people react, you are taking on a task that you have no control over, and it's literally none of your business.
mm,
So, like, for example, if I was to sit here, if I had an altercation with someone and I went to apologize, my task is the apology. Whether they decide to accept it, how they respond to it, whatever they do is not my task.
Mm.
To do with me, how I can only do what you can on your side, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think it's definitely a great way to look at it, because it's like it helps with like that narrative of like when you overthink, or like, when you're trying to control, or what's the best way to word this, or the best way to
Yeah.
put da, 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 and it's like there's only so much control you actually
Control you
have
can
at
have. Yeah. Yeah. And
yeah.
sometimes there is no best way, because we're then
Mhm,
always trying to think about how not to hurt feelings, or how not to upset, or on how not to make the matters worse. And so we're always analysing what we say and what we do before we say and before we do it.
mhm.
You say it with love and you say it from the heart, and how they choose to accept it is not your business.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's this. It's not your. Once you've said it and you're sincere and you're honest, that's all you can do. And they
Mhm,
have that. The choice then is theirs.
mhm.
And if they hate you and they don't want to be your friend, great, one less person to stress about. Or they can
100%.
go, I really appreciate that. Really appreciate you for doing that.
Mhm.
And then you go, thank you, because now you know there's mad psycho and had to deal with them.
Listen, no, thank you. No, I'm gonna actually. I can't wait. I can't wait, and I'll tell you the first time I use it. I'll tell you what the response is.
Good.
I hope like I get good. I hope I get something. I hope I scare someone.
You know what? Because they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Especially if you've had a big whole hoo-ha, and at the end of it,
Mhm.
you go, you know what? Thank you.
Mhm.
And it's like, where did that come from? What do I do with that? Do what you want, but you know what? Now I'm real clear moving
Mhm.
forwards, and that's
Yeah.
and that's my thank you. That's my
Mhm.
takeaway from this whole thing. That
Mhm.
now I get you, and I get how we
Yeah.
move forwards. So thank you for that.
Thank
Everything's
you.
a lesson. And when I say it to
Yes.
the kids, they go, "What?" I go, "Don't worry about it. Thanks."
Yeah. They'll
I,
probably remember soon.
well, sometimes they feel really bad. I go, "Thank you so much. I really appreciate you." And they go, "Oh, miss." I'm like, "What? We didn't mean it. No, you did mean it, and I'm thankful and I'm grateful that you meant it. Don't take it back." And it's like when they say sorry, I'm not interested in your
Yeah.
sorry. And they look at
Yeah.
me. I say, because you say sorry today, you say sorry tomorrow. Act on your sorry, and then it's a whole different ball game. But when you just
Mhm.
say sorry because you think I need to hear it, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Because they do.
Yeah.
They go, sorry, miss, but then they'll go away and do it again.
Yeah. I
So
get
don't say
that.
sorry. Yeah, don't say sorry. Act, show me. And then, then it's all resolved. It's all good. Because you think
Mhm.
by saying sorry, it's all fine. And it ain't.
Yeah.
So yeah. Next question.
um, the next, I got a little. There's a segment called "If I Were You." So what happens is the previous guest would have left the situation, and then the current guest, so yourself, would respond with starting with "If I were you." So, and then at the end, you're gonna leave the situation for the next guest, if that makes
So
sense.
so I have to start if I were you.
Yeah, in response to the situation I'm about to give you.
Okay,
So
let's
you're
go.
gonna give advice to our previous guest, right?
Oh Lord, yep.
Okay. So, in a week's time, you've got to deliver a presentation to a group of people. You already know that oh my gosh, public speaking makes you anxious. So, what advice do you have for a previous guest? Starting with the word "if I were you."
See now, if I were you, there's this whole thing of imagine your audience naked, but I don't think that works for a lot of people. Because then that way, I mean, I don't know if you've ever heard of that. They sort of say, just to kind of put your mind at ease, just try and imagine everybody naked. Um,
Oh, okay, yeah, I get what you mean.
but it's in,
I
in my head, public speaking, depending on the context of what it is you're speaking about, be real.
Mhm.
So whatever it is, because this is again, I suppose, what is it that they're speaking about? Is
Mm.
it is it something personal? Is it something business related? But whatever it is, be real, be honest, and say what you say with integrity.
Yeah, 100%. I get that. I feel like, yeah, public speaking, everyone is different. Um, with like what they say. Um,
Yeah, I'm rubbish at public speaking because I'm too emotional.
So how does that affect your public speaking?
Well, in assembly, I guess
Hmm.
that's a form of public speaking.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I talk to the students, I try to be, no, I will be honest, and I like to try and give real life scenarios about certain things depending on what it is.
Mm.
Um, when it's adults, again, depending on what it is, it's like you were saying about when you are passionate about something, your tone suddenly changes,
Yeah.
your mannerism suddenly change, and and in my head I'm sort of thinking not angry black woman. Where I suppose when I'm
Yeah.
passionate,
Mm.
people perceive me as being different.
Yeah.
So it's like I have to maybe tone it down, or I have to be mindful about how I put forward what I want to say.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm an emotional beast. I'm terrible. And if I'm passionate about something, then I possibly end up crying
Mm.
because
But
I am.
sorry, I was gonna say I love to believe it's sad because I think someone's passion is their power.
Mm,
And I think you should be able to we should be able to do that without having to think, "Oh, they're gonna think this." Because I think I'm exactly the same.
yeah,
And I think also my East London tone comes out a lot more as well when I'm passionate. So
yeah,
I sound a little bit more a bit more hood because I'm like
yeah, yeah,
when
yeah.
I'm speaking, and I'm just like, oh, but I think those are your most powerful moments because
Mm.
it's really coming from the inside. And I
Inside,
think,
yeah,
yeah, I think it's sad that we have to, you know, think about it and just like, oh, I'm going to be perceived this way or that. It's kind
yeah.
of
But I
annoying.
mean, I think I would like to be able to have those moments, because I don't public speak a lot at all, to be
Mm,
honest. But
mm,
to have those moments, to be passionate, but take away the emotion.
yeah, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. I get what you mean.
Not to be emotionless, but to
Yeah.
not include my emotions, that then ends up me being blubbery and tearful and
Mm,
angry and, sounding angry, but just to
yeah.
be, I don't even want to say professional, because it doesn't even have to be it just has to be honest,
Mhm.
but not in your face, and not just tone the emotion down, I think, a bit. Because my sister
Yeah.
said that to me the other day. She asked me to do something, and then she went, "You know what, Sharon, maybe I won't do." I said, "Well, it's because you just get too emotional." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, you know what, you're right."
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you mean. I think I had my sixth form teacher was saying how, it's a thing where you what did he say? You'll have mental boxes and it's like you would put your emotions in a box, like you place
Mm,
it in, and it's like, okay, well I'm gonna just like shut this box for now, focus on this, and then like maybe later when I go back home, then I can unpack this box and
yeah,
do
yeah,
this. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
And I think it's like it's a thing where you still want the passion to show through, but you don't want the emotions to get in the way of like the message or what it is that you're trying
Absolutely,
to
yeah,
deliver.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
Because
that.
then words can get lost, and things can get lost, and then the it then becomes unstructured in my head, because
Mm,
then it's like I know what I want to say, and whereas I had structure, the structure's gone because the emotion's taken over, and it's now not structured, and it doesn't sound straight, or it doesn't sound right. But I know in my head it does, but I don't think you know what it sounds
yeah,
like,
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've added the emotion to it, and it's just not. So yeah, that's sort of, even now. See, I'm sitting here thinking, you're rambling, woman. Shut up.
No. Yeah, I understand. But I get it because even when I'm recording episodes, sometimes I think I'm just saying words. Like I'm just like, oh, and even when it comes to editing, it's so daunting for me because I'm just like, oh, Fatima, you sound so inarticulate here. Why did you say this word? This is not even a real word. Like it's
But
just
then it's a
like,
podcast, so it's meant to be kind of, so, isn't it? Chilled, laid back, no stress.
yeah, yeah, I guess, but because people are hearing it, it's like. again, it just goes back to controlling how I want people to see me
Because here,
or
yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
stuff. But meh. Anyway, now it's your turn. So,
Oh,
what situation would you like to leave for the next guest? And then like end it by asking, okay, what would you do?
oh my God, what situation?
Yeah.
So the previous guest asked if I was to address. Oh,
So your previous guest asked you about a presentation and how you would deal with it if he was anxious. And then this is for your next guest. The next guest asking what they would do. So you would give a situation. For example, something like you've been feeling stuck in a job that doesn't align with you anymore, but you're scared of the uncertainty of leaving. And then you say, what would you do? And then our next guest would respond to that.
oh, okay. Well, maybe there's a colleague at work
Yeah.
who does things that really irritate you or says things in a way that really irritate you.
Okay.
So a colleague at work that maybe speaks to you in a certain way that you don't like, how would you
Mhm.
address that?
Yeah. What would you do, basically?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Can't
Like
wait. Yeah.
just tell him thank you.
You know what? You know what? I'm for your sake. I'm not gonna keep his name in it because I don't want you to go to work. Yeah. Or
Yeah,
whatnot.
probably.
Um. Yeah.
But yeah, thank you. But no, this was
Honestly,
lovely.
no. I've loved it too. On look, like you see, my thing is I'm so bad because I will make a plan of like ideas of things that I want to talk about, but obviously I just let the conversation flow, and like, time just goes, and I'm just like, oh my god.
Right.
I was gonna say, when did you first realize about the concept of boundaries and stuff like that? And the reason I'm asking you is because that is how when I saw you in school, I saw you as someone who was like confident in themselves and was able to kind of like set boundaries, and you very much moved through like, I'm someone who like I'm sure of myself. Not to say that you're someone who like adults at the end of the day, sometimes we don't life happens, whatever, cool. But it was
Mm.
like you just move through like, okay, I'm confident and I'm grounded to an extent. And I just feel like um for me, I saw you as someone who was able to set boundaries and hold boundaries. And like, so yeah, that's why I just want to know, when did you first realize you needed them? And how do you hold them without feeling like you're being too much?
That was difficult. I mean, with students, it's easy
Mhm.
because students like boundaries, firm but fair. And I would just
Yeah.
make it clear, I'm very flexible,
Mhm.
but don't cross the line. You know,
Mhm.
I will take so much. I'm happy to deal with so much, but you need to remember you're the student, I'm the teacher.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a
Mhm.
boundary. In terms of work, that's a tough one because there was always like you say, I'm not an argumentative person, but when it
Mhm.
came to colleagues, I chose not to push and not to cross the line. Um, I think I would always keep myself safe to keep myself out of trouble, I guess.
Mhm.
Um, but then there are times when if I felt something needed to be said, I just had to be clear about what it was and how I said it and how I
Okay.
put it across. And then sometimes I talk to other people about things. Um, so in terms of boundaries and where, rather than going bull in a china shop and going all in, I would find people that I could talk to about stuff and bounce stuff off of
Mhm.
before I presented or went in with anything that I needed to discuss with anyone else. I don't
Mhm.
know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, but it's interesting what you said about being grounded.
Mhm.
Um, I just think just I just think I never wanted people to just trample on me.
Yeah.
Um, and you kind of had broad shoulders,
Mhm.
and it's just letting people not know literally that you know what,
Mhm.
I'm not going to take any of your nonsense, and you're not going to treat me like rubbish.
Mhm.
Um, But then I also think that that's what people saw, but they didn't know.
Yeah.
They just assumed.
Mm.
So a lot of people, because of maybe how I was and maybe sometimes how I spoke, that's what people assumed, but they were never quite 100%. Because like I said, I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'm a pretty sensitive person.
Mm-hmm.
But some people sort of see me as, and you know, when I raise my voice with the children and stuff, some people will suddenly sort of see me as angry and aggressive and da-da-da. But no, I'm not. I'm lovely people.
Yeah,
Really.
that's the thing. Because I remember, even in year 7, I was so I was so scared of you. I was like, oh my gosh, like Miss Dennis, like it was just like I just thought there was no way of like getting to know you or something. I just thought, yeah, my chance is done. She hates us. Like my P class is crap. Like, oh, it's over. And then, like, as I actually got to know you, and it's like you're so sweet. And I would just wish like other people got to experience, or at least allow themselves to experience the Miss
No,
Dennis
what
that
they
I
do is
experienced.
their older siblings go home and they tell them that I'm the bad guy. And so when they
Oh,
come to school, they already have that perception.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what I have to deal with. And it's fine.
Yeah, but you know what it is? I just think I don't. It's hard to explain because it's like I think you are like it's like you said you're firm, but you're also such a like you're such a like a sweetheart. Like because
Thanks.
I know if I had you as a head of year, I would still be scared of you to an extent. Because even now, sometimes I'm like, look, Miss Dennis, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, behave yourself. Like I'm not even, don't even play. Because like I remember when I would walk past your year group hours and everyone is standing up, I'm like, child, like, oh my god.
I just have high expectations of
Yeah.
everybody, regardless. And
But
I
you
believe
loved
that
your year group though.
but I
That
do,
was
and
the
I do.
thing. That was the thing. Like you was harsh on them, but it wasn't like I hate you harsh. It was like like how a mother would discipline their child and teach
Yeah.
them right from wrong. But from the outside, people just didn't know that, you know?
No, and that's fine. You know, because
Mm,
like you say, they eventually they kind of get to understand. And
mhm.
sometimes it's a case of they have to go through that in order for them to kind of come out the other side and go, well, okay, you know what? Yeah, I kind of get where she was going with all of that now. It makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah,
And even
yeah.
now, I know some of my year 7 boys are like, oh, that Miss Dennis, she's so extra. Da, 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 da. And I just have to look at them and I have to go, yeah, okay, you know what? Wait till you get in year 11 and you're going to love me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's literally what happened. Because the same thing even happened with my mom. Like I look back on when I was a child and I used to get told off, and I'm just like, I was like, oh my gosh, like she's so
Yeah.
evil. And now I'm so grateful for
But I remember my
everything.
daughter
I
as well.
think
She said,
that's-
I said to her, when you're a moody teenager, she was like, no, I'm never going to
Yeah.
be a moody teenager. I went, babe, you're going to be, no, mum, I'm never going to be a moody teenager. When she was a teenager boy. And
Mm.
now I say to her, do you remember? She's like, yeah, don't talk about it. I know, let's not talk about it.
Yeah.
But no, I'm glad I
Mm.
had an influence on you, and I'm glad I have. That's my job.
Mhm.
And that's what I do, and that's what brings me joy. See, look, I'm
Mhm.
getting all emotional now. I'm taking a deep breath
No.
in the podcast. Because I do, because I love what I do
Mhm.
when students come out the other side better people. And even if they don't come out better people, they have an understanding of why things happened the way they did and why I was the way they were. And then they can at
Well,
least
yeah.
go, you know what, I get it.
Mhm.
And that's one of the biggest joys for me of being a person in education.
Yeah, 100%. And I hope that, I mean, I don't know if people from Littlefield would listen, but I just hope that if they do, they allow themselves to get to know you more. Because I'm not in the school, and I think when I built a rapport with you, it was in year 11, so it was really like, it was towards the end of my time. But if I was there, I would definitely be like telling all the kids, like, no, you need to get to know Miss Dennis for yourself because, like, the way you might think she is, she's not actually like, she's not like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I
Mm.
wish I was there, but hopefully people will hear this and kind of like,
Yeah.
okay, you know what?
Where do you put this in terms of what platform?
It's on Spotify, YouTube,
Oh,
Apple
cool.
Music, Amazon. It's on everything.
Okay, I need to download and listen then.
Yeah.
More so.
100%.
Actually, you know what? It might be a nice thing for me to try and get a little girls group. How long are the sessions?
How long are
How long are the
mean?
podcasts? Because we've been talking for hours.
Yeah, we've been talking for a long time. So the other ones, the old ones were probably about like 40, 30 minutes. But with this new season and this new style, most of them are like, when I edit it down, it's usually about an hour and a half. This one's probably going to be an hour and 40 or an hour.
Okay. Because what would be nice is if I can, if maybe get a group of girls and maybe lunchtimes we could start listening and then make it, and every lunchtime just sort of have a listen to just some of the stuff that goes on, because I think it might be nice for some of the girls to do that. That would be nice. I'll try and do that.
I would love that. Thank you, Miss.
No, that's fine. Absolutely fine. I'm going to share this now. I know everybody.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, I love you guys so much, honestly.
Who's that in the background?
My sister.
Mind your business.
She came in my room. I came in her room. She came in my room.
Okay, yeah. But no, it's been great. I've really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Miss. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Just one last thing before we wrap up.
No problem.
I love all my guests to leave the girls with one message. So today, if you could leave one message to all the girls out there, what would that message be?
Be yourself. Yeah, be yourself. Learn to be yourself. Learn to love you. You are important. You are beautiful. You are an amazing individual. You are loved. You are blessed. And there are people out there who love you for who you are and not who you think you should be.
100%. 100%. I love
the end.
Yeah, that was beautiful, Miss.
No, you're welcome.
I think a lot of girls need to hear that.
But also, just quickly, I've put my number correctly in the email.
In the email, yeah.
Yeah, so please drop me a WhatsApp and we'll keep in touch.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you so much, Miss.
That's okay.
Thank you. I'm going to end the recording. So thanks, guys, for listening. We'll see you next week. Bye.